Anime Summit, episode 70.
So they're going to do are they going to do I wonder if they're going to do the Netflix, wow, I said that 4 times.
Hello and welcome to the Anime Summit podcast. My name is Quokka. With me I got Nick.
I am the Keymaster.
And Mac.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what anything is doing here. I don't know.
And Sam.
Yep.
Yeah, so for the people that don't know, we lost our audio from last week, so we're re-recording this. I'm going to hopefully get it out soon. Obviously, you're just going to listen to it when it's done, so I don't know why I'm telling you this timeline. But we're going to talk about Bakemono no Ko and Millennium Actress, which is the anime that we picked to talk about for this week, because topics are the things that we talk about on the show. But first, the Kimi no Na wa weekly update.
Do we have to do this?
Cue the newsroom music. Kimi no Na wa, making even more money, is now the 6th highest Japanese grossing film of all time. It is the 16th highest grossing film of all time in Japan, and it's the 5th highest grossing anime film of all time. In Japan. And it made 10 billion yen 10 days faster than Frozen did, and Frozen's the 3rd highest grossing film of all time in Japan. So Kimi no Na wa gonna be the highest grossing film of all time ever in the entire world. I'm calling it right now.
We know what that means. That means it's the best, because if it makes the most money, it's automatically
now,
the best.
Back to you guys in the studio.
So yeah, guys, best girl.
Thank you for that report.
I was just letting you do your thing. Just, do your thing.
We're doing the best girl now?
If you guys are wondering,
no, we should do news. More news.
I just want to do, yeah, I think we did some news.
I'm skipping ahead.
I'm skipping way ahead on
Anyway,
next week we're going to be doing our first impressions, so look forward to that, because you're probably thinking, hey, the season just started. Why aren't you doing first impressions? Well, we're doing that next week.
Fall
That's
2016,
how we do this stuff.
to be precise.
Yeah.
We're not doing, like, summer 1993 first impressions. We should do that one day. Yeah. Just randomly. Random year.
Okay.
I got a couple of news bits.
News bits
to shout out. Okay, so first of all, Crunchyroll is going to stream the English dub of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. They got the rights and now they're doing it. So blam, if you haven't seen that yet, give it a go. I would also recommend watching the original Full Metal Alchemist from 2003. It has a better opening arc to it. So a lot of people's main complaint with Brotherhood is that the first 13 episodes or so are not as good as the original. Definitely watch the original's opening 20 to 30 episodes, and then I would recommend going to Brotherhood. Anyway, and then one more thing.
Does that dub have the same like 5 Funimation actors?
No, it's got that one. God, man, I forgot his name. The guy who does Ed Elric is really good. It's phenomenal. I think Brotherhood actually, or Full Metal Alchemist in general, just has like one of the best English dubs in anime. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. It also has a pretty good sub, but why would you watch sub when you can watch dub?
Well, that's just a terrible opinion.
And besides that, we got Sword Art Online 2.
Yeah, don't talk about Sword Art.
Sword Art Online.
I guess there is a bit of news.
Not two. There's a movie coming out in February. So
there was an animated short by the guy that wrote Sword Art, I guess. I'm not sure exactly on the details of who was the creator. I just saw like the blurb. But it got removed from YouTube for content because based on the description, it looked like it might have involved potential train molestation. I don't know. I could be making this up.
Oh, so, molestation from the guy who wrote about Sword Art Online. How surprising.
Just
of
to
his
clarify
villains
anything,
are like that.
We never make any promises that we're right about the things that we say, just that we're going to say them.
We should just blatantly like scream out accusations at people.
Well, yeah, because news is entertainment and not fact.
We're fake journalists. We just got to be first to the press, hot off the presses, whether it's true or not. And two more things really quick.
Okay.
Little Witch Academia TV was announced a while back. There was a PV for the season. I don't know when it's coming out.
It's going to be on Netflix.
What do you mean academia?
Academia nut. It's Little Witch Academia.
Little Witch Academia TV is going to be on Netflix. It looks top.
Yeah, I think I really am interested in the series.
Because with Netflix, licensing it, it's gonna get shit tons of money.
Oh, so
Well,
if
not just
Netflix is doing
licensing
it,
they're like producing.
so they're gonna do the. Are they gonna do the? I wonder if they're gonna do the Netflix. Wow, I said that 4 times. The Netflix strategy where they do all the episodes at once, so people can
What
binge them.
you mean? Is Netflix gonna do what Netflix does?
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they'll make an exception for Little Witch, just to keep people on their toes.
That I'm super excited for that. Little Witch is. I'm still waiting for Good Smile to release figures for those characters, man. I want an Akko figure.
Yeah, Susie, best girl, man.
And Susie. And did Trigger ever release that Little Witch Academia Inferno Cop crossover episode?
I am not sure.
Because that was pretty hilarious, and I kind of wish it was online. People, you should look that up. See if it's out there. I don't know if it is. So maybe I got your hopes up for nothing.
I mean, they had it's in Lulico, sort of. So it's.
No, I mean, like,
they got a couple references there. Yeah.
Proper. I'm just thinking about it. It's funny. You said there was one other thing?
Oh, just really quick. Code Geass is going to be on, or it is on Funimation now, so it's streaming. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out. Code Geass is just a crazy ass show. Everything happens. Everything hits the fan. Shit hits the fan. Fun.
Okay.
It's 10 years old now, so it's officially a classic.
Okay.
Code Geass sucks.
And just a little personal news. I dyed my hair from pink to orange this weekend, so now I look like a traffic cone. I was kind of hoping for a more burnt orange, and instead I got a nice, bright neon orange.
You know what's good about your hair, like being that color, though?
Is that it won't get hit by a car?
It's not, and that it's not Code Geass, because Code Geass sucks.
So, moving on to Waifu of the Week, which is the waifu that we picked this week.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I'll announce it then.
I don't remember.
I don't know what we decided on.
It's Chiyoko
It's
from
Chiyoko.
Millennium Actress.
We had like 3
she's a
picks.
cutie. She's like 93 years old on death's doorstep.
Still rocking that short hair as a 90-year-old.
Well, actually, did she? I thought she had it up in an updo.
No, she had it short. It was like I don't know the style, whatever that's called. Some might know.
A bob.
A bab.
Chiyoko? It's like a bob.
That's one thing to avoid if you're ladies out there. When you become an old lady, don't get the long hair. You're just gonna look like some creepy, like, apparition, you know, just like in Millennium Actress.
You gotta have the old lady afro.
If you can pull that off, yeah, but don't let your hair grow down to your butt because you're gonna look like a witch or something, you know.
Yeah, Chiyoko
Keep
because
it
of
tight.
Millennium Actress, and if it was anything else, he probably would have stick up his ass and had a conniption. So
Yeah, well,
Chiyoko.
we'll get a bit more into why Chiyoko is great and why Millennium Actress is great later when we talk about our main topic, which is now, but we're not going to talk about Millennium Actress. We're going to talk about Bakemono no Ko. Oh, Mac, hit it, take it away.
Okay. Bakemono no Ko aired in 2015. It's a wonderful, wonderful story about. But it's almost like a coming of age story. Okay, it's
Mamoru Hosoda, by the way, for fans out there.
Bulldogs Roman, if you will.
Yes, it is done by
I looked that up
Mamoru
before the
Hosoda.
cast.
Thank you for saying that for me. That was so kind of you. Thank you very much.
I got your back, Mac.
It's a sweet story. I really enjoyed it. It's very, very easy to watch movie, but just to go down the synopsis here for a second. So basically, little kid, he's like 9 years old. His name's Rin. His life kind of turns to shit. His mom died. His dad runs away. Shit's bad. So he runs away, and then he somehow ends up in this fantasy world parallel to our own, somehow through some back alleys when some sorcery and some witchcraft and some wizardry happens. And he meets this Bearface named Kumatetsu, who is kind of brash and
Stubborn.
Stubborn, yes, stubborn is also a good word. And he's competing to be the noble lord or the ruler of the land. And he's really stubborn, which kind of goes really well with how Rin is. So to see them kind of, interact with each other, because Rin is like his if you like Star Wars, he's his Padawan, okay? And
His acolyte.
yes, an acolyte if you're into the Sith thing.
his
Fuck the
neophyte.
Sith. Anyways, so yeah, that's the gist of it. Guy meets Bearface. Bearface teaches little kid to do stuff, and then stuff happens, and
Teaches him about
it's a
true
very
strength.
it's a
Very
very
compelling,
heartwarming
Mac.
story, though, and
I could tell that you. So why did you pick this film for me to watch and everybody else too? Because every single one of our fans watched the movie because we told
because I
them to.
haven't seen any, well, mini movies, I should say. I haven't seen mini movies, and that's one I could think of that you hadn't seen. So that was kind of the
It was
go-to.
the only Mamoru Hosoda film I hadn't seen.
Was kind of it's kind of in check, and I had to move the king, so there we go.
So going back a little bit to the synopsis, there's one point that I didn't fully understand in the story that seems kind of important, was why and how was Kumatetsu up for the competition to become a lord when he was kind of not important or respected? Like, why was it between those two guys when he's like kind of just a delinquent,
I think,
and the other
just some
guy's like
kind of
actually like an
merchant or-
adult and leader of people?
No, because the thing about Kumatetsu is he's still technically a master of his art, and I think it's whoever's up for that competition. And in this case, the only two people who were up for it were Kumatetsu and the other guy, the boar.
So
I
it's
forgot his
mainly
name.
it's arbitrary, kind of. He just is.
He just
I mean, they're both
is.
trying to be a lord. Like it's a competition,
No, I think
right?
actually, you know what? I think the Lord guy actually may have chose him because he was just kind of like, well, Kumatetsu is strong, and although he is like brash and stubborn, he can be a pretty good fearless, like, leader.
I'm looking
or
it up right
whatever.
now. So in the Beast Kingdom, the original Lord decided he wanted to retire and reincarnate as a deity, and he names two successors, and one is Eozen, who's the
boar,
lighter
yeah.
colored guy who's like the upstanding citizen, and then the
Yeah.
other one's Kumatetsu. So that's why they're doing that.
Oh,
They're both
okay, yeah.
So
vying
it is
for
pretty
that for the
arbitrary. He
position.
just picked
Yeah.
them.
I mean, it's not arbitrary.
So, yeah.
He chose them on purpose. I mean,
Yeah, but it's just
chose
kind
them
of
for
arbitrary
reasons.
for the story purposes. It's just he picked them.
well, there has to be a reason for everything. Like he
No,
had his
there's
reasons.
a
Like,
reason.
they're
He
qualified.
had his
They're both
reasons.
qualified.
Yeah, I'm just saying as far as the
They're
movie
applying
is
for a job.
concerned, as far as the movie is concerned, he picked him, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because none of the reasons why is really explained. He just is. Right?
No, I think he explains it in the beginning.
It's explained at some point. I don't remember when, but I know
I'm pretty sure
I know
it
they
is
were
too.
talking about how they could become gods like the beasts. I don't remember exactly how they did, but
There's a ritual involved or something, and then they like ascend to a higher plane, and then whatever.
yeah. And do you guys know like the reason why the beast world and the human world are separate? Because I don't recall. I think it's like, oh, the humans have negative energy.
They asked that, and it was because humans can't become gods, and because of the darkness or whatever.
Yeah, the
Humans are prone
darkness-
to become like jackasses because human nature is to be an asshole. So it's like they're like, nah, we ain't about that life.
Yeah, because
Like you notice in the Beast Kingdom, there's like no war, there's no anything crazy like that. You know what I mean?
everybody
Like,
still carries sharp ass swords around.
No, they sheathe them though. They're all
yeah, because
sheathed.
if you gotta fight a bitch for stealing your Peking duck out of your stand when you're trying to sell Peking duck to paying customers, sometimes you gotta cut someone's legs off.
Yeah, but
how does
they,
how does it?
they
what is
can't
so
take
hard to
the
understand about
sword
that?
out of the scabbard
Then why'd you
So
say
you
they're
beat his-
sharp, Koga? Shit.
because
So
they
you
still
beat his
are
ass.
sharp inside the scabbard.
Okay. As
Well,
we
I'm
find
sure-
out later in the movie, no spoilers.
I'm sure conflicts still arise, and if they have to draw the sword, then they can draw the sword.
No, they
But-
actually said that they're tied shut.
Well,
The
it's like
sword is tied into the scabbard.
it's like a code of ethics or whatever. You guys have seen Rurouni Kenshin, right? Where he has like the reverse blade sword because he doesn't want to
Yeah.
be too powerful, or like a recent one.
He doesn't want to kill anyone.
It's exactly like Thunderbolt Fantasy, where the main like wandering guy has like a really blunt sword. Or it's not even a sword; he just has like a stick.
Well, a lot of that is
he
based
painted
off
it like
of
a sword.
a lot of that is often based off of Miyamoto Musashi, who in his fight with Sasaki Kojiro used a sword that he carved himself on the boat ride to the island that was a blunt wooden sword, and he killed Sasaki Kojiro with it.
Yeah, that's Thunderbolt
the-
Fantasy. That's what they did.
That's the tale as old as time itself, and Miyamoto Musashi being the standard by which Japanese people hold themselves.
All right, just a correction really quick. Kenshin's blade was reversed because he was once a manslayer and then chose not to be a manslayer.
Well, yeah, it's the same idea though. Like they don't want to use excessive force.
I know. I was just saying for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Part of the point of Boy and the Beast is to control your
Mac
control your
chose
emotions
that,
and strength.
Mac chose that for Quokka. So what did we all think of the movie? Quokka, what did you think of it since it was traded to you?
I just want to preface this also saying that I watched the dub because I wanted to make it a little family movie night type thing.
So you watched it with your moms or whatever?
Yeah, and it was obviously the dubs is the exact same fucking people that Funimation has in every fucking thing that has come out.
Yeah, dude,
in
that
the last
all-star
20 years.
lineup.
Oh my god.
Why change it? It works.
So like annoying.
Ian Sinclair, dude. He is my boy.
But it's I don't know, it seems just kind of flat in the a lot of the same reasons why I don't like most Miyazaki films, in that they kind of just resolve. I mean, this one, it's clear like the steps that happen in the resolution, but it's just kind of like, yep, that's how it's gonna go. You know, you grab the sword that's in your soul, fucking go at it, whatever. But there was like this really cool bit that I thought was gonna be like the movie, that was fairly early on, where the Lord comes down and like tells Kumatetsu that he should take Rin on the journey to see the Lords of the Eight Kingdoms. And
no, that's like a TV series right there. They couldn't do that. I was
like,
in a movie.
this would be like that. I was like, this is the movie. This is like what the movie is about. And then
in the end's gonna be the fight.
That's some Pokemon gym fights right there, dude.
But then all that is just like, it's like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. I don't know, 15 minutes at a max, where they just kind of do a kind of cut, where they just cut to the next master and ask him, what is true strength?
Yeah, it's a montage.
I was like, montages normally just have music. This is
it's a long montage. It's a long montage.
This is just scenes.
It's a version of a
not
montage.
What you would call a montage, because montage require just music playing for the most part.
It doesn't have to be like Rocky. It can be slightly different.
But it was like, this was this interesting story, and it's just kind of glossed over, and then you just kind of go back and like you see development kind of happening, but there isn't much to a lot of the show. And it's just like a fairly typical story about revenge and jealousy.
Is it really about revenge though? Like, I mean, the one other beast with a hood dislikes the main. You mean dislikes Rin?
Chico, or not Chico, but
the one that looks like a girl.
Yeah,
Chico. But I don't know if that's like revenge. That doesn't strike me as revenge. It just strikes me as
Ichiro Hiko.
It's that like same kind of emotion though, like those kind of thing where it's just like you don't want other people to have things.
Well, it's later discovered too that Ichiro Hiko is not
Spoilers.
a beast. Actually, sorry, I totally forgot.
He's an imp.
Kind of reminded me of the guy from
a dwarf.
Was it Finn from Adventure Time? His hood.
But like, I think Quokka's problem with it too is like the way, and I kind of had the same problem. Probably not as nitpicky as Quokka had it, but the way it paced was a little funny, and I think that's probably because it's like they weren't really telling. There wasn't really a straight up premise, as it so much was just telling the story of Kumatetsu and Kyuta growing up and then going through the motions, and that part where Kyuta goes back to, Ren. They call him Kyuta because he doesn't tell him his real name till like later, but Kyuta is like Japanese for 9, and then it's like they more tell the story of just like of them growing up together, and not so much there's like a straight premise. It's just like them going through what's happening and through the movie, and to me it was kind of weird because I thought what Quokka thought. Like I thought there was gonna be when they explained at the beginning, like, oh, he chose two guys and then they're gonna fight to become a deity or something. I thought it was gonna focus on that more than what it did focus on, but
it kind of feels like it told too much at the same time as telling too little. Like it just hit on all these separate things, but didn't go into any of them.
Right.
Because then they start it would have been great for people, especially if you've seen the movie, is have that journey of going to see the 8 lords. That's like a whole movie in itself, and then have the story with the him returning to the human world and the final conflict be like a separate movie.
Yeah. I think I actually wouldn't have minded if maybe Mamoru Soda Pop would have made it just like 2 45-minute or 2 hour long.
Man, you and your
movies or something,
Digimon
or-
Tri obsession.
Man, shut up. Digimon's the shit. Digimon's the shit. Okay, anyways,
You just want your movies to be in like OVA form.
OVA 90s guy right here. That's
Fun
me.
fact about Digimon. In Digimon World, I had a Wargreymon once.
No fucking way.
Hell yeah,
That's
I
legit. That's legit, dude. That's fucking badass. But like, yeah, freaking I don't know. I still really liked it because I kind of have a bias towards Mamoru Hosoda films. I just like all of them. And plus Kumatetsu's like, he's a beast, right? But he's like a bear face. The word bear is in his damn name, okay? And you know how I love bears. So just don't
did.
even.
He does love
Except
bears.
when they mindfuck little girls.
Okay,
Shout out
yeah,
to Kuma
yeah.
Miko.
Yeah, fuck Kuma Miko. God.
Oh, I like that ending more and more now that I think about it. It's really
Kuma-san.
fucked
You
up.
Nick.
Kuma-san.
Fuck you, Nick.
Well,
God
like,
damn you.
So,
I see your points about the movie. I'm just gonna state really quick the interplay between the human world and the beast world. I think could have been done a little better. It felt like the human world was really disconnected.
Yeah.
I wish it was more like
what, you mean like it was a parallel world?
I mean, or even like in his head type thing, like Maxine Clannad. That had kind of like an other world.
Clannad. Why do you
type.
say it the stupidest way?
Clannad. That way everyone knows what it is.
My nads. Clan my nads.
But Clannad has like these scenes of like this kind of dreamland type thing, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's like if Boy and the Beast had more of that, where it's like this ethereal
like it should have contrasted
side
better.
by side world or whatever, bizarro world.
Like they should have contrasted each other better and kind of they should have played that into the
Yeah, and
into like Kyuta's story a little more.
I don't know. I just think it would have been more interesting if the boy was like literally living in the human world, but then imagining the beast world. But yet the beast world actually does kind of exist, you know, kind of like Peter Pan almost.
I
But
feel like that'd make it like a whole different movie.
I know it'd be like a mind fight. It would basically be a Satoshi Kon movie at that point.
Yeah. So,
But
So what do we all rate it?
well, I was gonna go
What do you-
with where would you put this on like the hierarchy of Hosoda films?
I haven't seen a lot of them. Like Girl Who Leapt Through Time, a lot of people like. But have you guys seen all of them? Like Quokka should just go first if you've
I've
seen them
seen
all.
all of them.
I've seen all of them.
I'll go last then.
I'd probably honestly put Bakemono no Ko at the bottom, like below Wolf Children, Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars. Maybe that one Digimon movie would be lower. I'm not exactly sure how that whole thing works, and I don't think I've ever seen the proper Japanese version of that because
The
I know
only
the
thing I
English
know is
one,
it's the
it,
same
like,
thing as Summer Wars.
the English version, it's like one movie that's like 3 actual Japanese Digimon movies, like crumpled together in a weird
Yeah,
way.
it is. The American version is like the first 3 movies put together, which is
So
kind
let's
of
just leave that one out.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's just like Summer Wars, I still think the resolution was a little bit weak, but it overall was like extremely interesting and just well put together and good themes. Girl Who Leapt Through Time, once again, good themes, well put together. And Wolf Children, great themes, well put together. There's really reasons to watch those movies. Well, with Bakemono no Ko, it's just kind of like, if you like fantasy and just kind of want like a simple story, you could do worse.
Easy to watch. Right. I probably would do the same as Quokka.
I'm
be
just
honest
gonna
with you-
rate in the dark. Oh, go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I probably would just like put it in the same order as Quokka. As much as I love Bakemono no Ko, just because of Bearface Johnson.
Yeah, dog.
The other ones are more compelling. So
Yeah.
yeah, I would probably put Wolf Children and then Summer Wars and then Girl and then yeah.
So the movies, he also did a One Piece movie, which I'm gonna rate number 1 because One Piece, it's got to be number 1.
Okay,
But,
shut
like,
the fuck up.
For real though, the only ones I've seen so far are Boy and the Beast and Wolf Children. I still have yet to see the others. I would rate Wolf Children much better than Boy and the Beast. It just had like a better atmosphere and it was more consistent, except for like the bestiality part, which is a little bit weird, but Like they had
I-
sex when he was in a wolf form. Like why
Yeah,
would they
I
just
mean-
not have a human form?
Yeah, we've talked about that before, but it's so weird that they chose specifically to have him in that like half
It's
wolf,
like the Beauty
half
and the
human
Beast. It's
form
romantic.
exactly for that moment.
But that technically is his real form, though, and he wanted to be his real
Yeah,
self.
yeah,
Like,
I know, but it's just a little startling. Anyway, so I would go.
I'd do it.
I would say Boy and the Beast, and then Boy and the Beast I would put on the bottom, and then Wolf Children above that, and then I'm gonna randomly just guess that I would like Summer Wars more, and then I would guess even more that I'd like Girl Who Left Through Time the most.
Dude, all you need to
Just
know
going
about
backwards on his chart.
all you need to know about Summer Wars is that a fucking bunny face Johnson punches a lobster in the claw and he breaks. It's badass.
That's some Pokemon shit right there.
He punches this lobster in the claw and he loses.
Punches
and then the
lobster in the
bunny's
claw.
like, and the bunny's like, done. Fuck off. Get out of here.
So, Mac, how would you rate it amongst other Hosoda films?
I have seen no other Hosoda films.
oh no,
Mac would
man.
really like Wolf Children. I think that would be his favorite.
I think
or
he'd
Summer
like Wolf
Wars.
Children.
Or
in
Summer
general,
Wars.
anybody that isn't just into anime for super action, gore, and boobs will love Wolf
Right.
Children.
And even they probably even just like Bakemono no Ko too. It's so easy to watch. But
It sounds like we're shitting on Bakemono no Ko, but the movie's fine. Like it's not.
but we're not.
It's
yeah.
just not like exceptional compared. Like we're gonna be talking about Millennium
This
Actress
is like
later.
when you see
and,
Jeremy
you know,
Clarkson talking shit about supercars. Like, it's good. It's just there's a lot better out there.
Yeah.
I am so hyped for freaking the Grand Tour. You don't even get me started.
The Grand Tour.
Here we go.
Yeah, trailer out for the Grand Tour on Amazon Prime.
Here we go.
Is that a car movie? Oh,
You
kind of off
uncultured
topic, but
swine.
is that movie about?
It's
Cars.
basically the new Top Gear show. The three guys from Top Gear, since
Oh,
they
it's a TV show.
got fired and quit, they are Amazon hired them and quadrupled their budget. So
Well,
it'll
let's
be great.
see how this pans out.
Anyway, moving on to Millennium Actress is the film that I picked for Mac. Millennium Actress is, I believe, 2001 is when it came out in the world. And
Yeah,
it was 2002
early
that it came out in
2000,
Japan
yeah.
or something like that.
Because it's always a different date, like Japan and
Yeah,
rest
and
of the
Japan's
world.
just like a whole year ahead. So it came out in 2002 for them, while it came out in 2001 for us, and it was like at the same
Oh, wait,
time.
no,
You know,
wasn't it the other way around? Because it always comes out in Japan first.
not in this case.
That's fucked up. Oh,
Yeah, it
Satoshi
was-
Kon's just mind fucking us even more
Yeah.
now.
And Satoshi Kon, obviously well known for films like Paprika and
Perfect Blue. That's
Perfect Blue.
Perfect
Which
Blue. might
Perfect
be his
Blue was the
most
film that
famous.
he did before Millennium Actress. That was his like big breakthrough.
And he also did Paranoia Agent, which is an underrated anime series. It was on, I think it was on like Toonami or Adult Swim at one point. And I saw part of it and I thought it sucked, but I was like 12 when I looked at it. So I'm like, I really got to revisit that show. Apparently it's really good.
So anyway, Millennium Actress is like, it starts with an intro scene from like a woman on like the moon getting into a space shuttle that she's gonna go off, whatever, spaceship, not really shuttle. And it cuts out and like you see it's a film and there's a guy watching it. And this guy is a reporter doing a documentary about this actress that was in the movie, specifically because of the fact that the old movie studio that used to host all of her movies, like be the ones that made her movies, just recently got torn down. So he's trying to do like one of those go back. Plus he's a huge fan of her, and it's been like 30 years and she just kind of like disappeared, and she's been off, you know, being a hermit with her one assistant maid person.
Training with
that-
Master Roshi, being the turtle
Yeah.
hermit.
Yeah. And
Watching exercise videos.
so he's this big fan. He wants to do this like documentary, this memorial type thing for the studio. And he gets a cameraman who's kind of just doesn't give a shit about any of this, but is just, you know, probably, I'm not sure if they exactly established, but just think the kind of character is like, we just grabbed him from like a local college and he's going to film it and put it all together. That type of a situation. So they go like hiking up to where she lives and they meet with her, and he gives her something. And I don't think it's clearly defined what it is at the time that they give it. She just kind of looks at it and is like, wow, okay. But in this, like, we start to hear this like story about how when she was much younger, she has this run-in with a political conspirator.
Yeah, a painter and a
person.
revolutionary.
Yeah, it's kind of vague exactly what he is. It's just kind of what she believes him to be.
He's kind of like an anti-war, anti-Japanese government, at least that regime.
Yeah, but I think most of that wasn't particularly well defined. It was more like what she
because it doesn't
viewed him as.
Yeah, and it's not particularly relevant. He was basically just kind of like an anti establishment type guy. He was an artist. He's like, you know. All artists are like that, pretty much.
He liked to finger paint. He really liked to finger paint, and the government was not having any of that. So he's being chased. She has like a run-in with him and gets this key that is at some point in the future she can meet up with him and find out what the key is for, yada yada. But
and then she meets
this
Chitoge, and she also has a key.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gosh, shut the fuck up. So from that, she thinks that he went to Manchuria in China. This is the time when Japan had taken over part of China. And her opportunity to go there is to become an actress. Like, so she wants to find him, and she's like, the only way I can do this is by becoming an actress, because she gets scouted when she's super young, and she goes to Manchuria to film this movie. And as it goes through, it's a story like of her looking for this man, but it's how the movie is told weaves it through the various films that she starred in. So you have these scenes that are all about like finding this guy, like finding the love that she's obsessed with, but in this way that, because a lot of stuff tackles obsession in a negative way, where it's like you get too obsessed, you lose track of everything. And this is like, no, this was her driving force in her life that has now spread out and touched all these other people's lives. But it gets really interesting because there's a lot of parts in the movie where you're not exactly sure if the scene that you're watching was in one of the films or was her actual life. I mean, some of them are very clear, like when she's like in a cave with a witch, like very obvious, not her real life. Well, there's some that are a little bit more vague when they get to more contemporary as opposed to like classical.
Yeah, I think most of it is imaginary and in her head. I mean, obviously she didn't literally burst off in a rocket ship. You know, it wasn't.
Well, that's a movie. That was one of the films that she was in.
I know. I'm just saying.
But there's that line where there's reality, how she wants to view her life, and the films that she was in. And there's like these three things weaving all in between each other. And occasionally the interviewer like casts himself essentially into the movies. And there's like one or two times when then they cut out to them just talking in the living room and they're like acting out the scene that we just saw. But it's just, oh man, I can't talk enough about how just visually stunning and just how this story just weaves so greatly. It's so great.
Not only that, it had a soundtrack by Susumu Hirasawa, who did Berserk and other Satoshi Kon works. And this guy is like beyond description.
In reading some reviews, they refer to the music as machete subtle.
Yeah, it's like this weird. What's the word for it? It's like this weird pop type thing, techno pop. Like it's got these bizarre instruments and like primitive sounds. It's this classical orchestra. None of it really fits into a genre, and it's super remarkable. And like you remember, oh, that's a Hirasawa soundtrack. Like that sounds really distinct. And Millennium Actress.
Yeah, you know, I picked.
It really complements the movie.
I picked this film for Mac to watch. We kind of got a little bit too much into analysis when that was supposed to just be synopsis, but it's just too I just want to talk about this film forever. I picked it for Mac to watch because he hasn't seen. Have you seen any Kon films, Mac?
Did
we do a Perfect Blue episode?
With Mac?
I talked about it.
Oh, okay, that was a pitch.
So, like, yeah, introducing people to Satoshi Kon is one of my great passions, okay? And additionally, Sam being a person that likes to say that he loves film, this is exactly up his alley because this is great filmmaking, period. Not even just great anime movies, great movies.
And here's the thing. Millennium Actress, the thing about Satoshi Kon is he just is like Hideaki Anno, you know, like he's just a good storyteller and film director. He knows films. He knows the history of films, like certain shots that need to be made and things like that. The cinematography in Millennium Actress, for one, is very good. And the thing that I loved most about Millennium Actress was even just how it was told. You know, like it's an interview. You know what I mean? The whole movie is an interview, but that's not what you're not watching two people talking in this actress's room, in her room. You're watching her life.
Yeah, it's not like My Dinner with Andre where they're just sitting at a table.
Right, yeah, right. Right.
I actually watched it. That's pretty entertaining, but
and people say like and you could fucking sit here and tell me, "Oh, well, that's been done before." No, I get that. But like the way it was done here was like it was cool because even like the cameraman and Genya, the interviewer, were like a part of it too. They were a part of her story. They were a part of her reality. And at some points, they were in the movies that she was in, and it was funny because Genya was like a fanboy, right? And he was even like crying again at some of the parts that she was telling and reciting some of the lines, and then making up his own roles in them, and it was just really cool.
Total otaku. So
yeah,
it's pretty relatable.
Like, he loves this actress, and he loves all her movies.
And I kind of just want to illustrate a point about the whole weaving of the films, how she views her life and her real life all together into the story. There's the one scene where she's on the train and it like wrecks and catches on fire. And I'm still not sure if that specific instance was real or not. Because she was dressed in the same clothes that she normally was wearing as in the scenes that we know were quote unquote real. But it weaves directly into then a film with the band of raiders shooting fire arrows.
I think it might have been... This is tough, actually. Because at the end of the movie, too, she's on like this train, but then... Man, it's weird, because I would have to rewatch it again. The movie is so dense that...
Yeah,
if you try to reflect on it...
subtlety.
If you try to reflect on it like weeks... afterward, it's going to be tough. I think it's a little bit. I think it's both. I don't know if she was actually because she was literally in an accident with when she was filming the space shuttle launch, right? And Genya, the otaku guy, he saved her from that on the studio set, and that was like a real accident. But I don't know if the train was real. I would have to rewatch the film. I think it's. I think if I rewatched it, you could probably tell.
I imagine if you're prepared to look at that moment, you could maybe parse it together. But when
I think on a second viewing, you could tell.
Like it just flows over you, the whole movie. You're just carried along on this story.
Yeah, it's a ride. And that's what I love. I love movies that are a ride. Like TV shows can't do that as much because they're so segmented. But with a movie, you can just like bask in it, you know? It's hard to bask in a TV show. You need those like cliffhangers and hype moments and you know, beginning, middle, end to every episode. But with a movie, it's just like, you know, this crazy journey. Right. And Millennium Actress did a good job of that because it was, unlike Boy and the Beast, which was 2 hours and change, Millennium Actress is about 90 minutes, give or take, which I feel
it was like an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah.
It was like, 80 or 90 minutes. It was, that's like a really good length for a movie, especially like this type of movie, the Satoshi Kon style, where it's almost a thriller. It's like this psychological mind fuck. And you don't want that going on for 3 hours. Like that's just too much. It's too much information to process. So it was a good length. Like the amount of time was just enough. We learned just enough about the characters without getting into needless details. It had these themes and it really hammered them home while being like masterfully directed.
Yeah.
And
I think I just want to mention one more thing. I think everything you said, and my favorite part about it, before I let Mac chime in here, is like, my favorite thing about it was the love part is my favorite part. I think I'm a sucker for love stories, and this wasn't cheesy by any means. This was, I love this man, and I'm gonna go be an actress so he'll see my movies. And at first it started out like, oh, she found out that he ran to Manchuria, and one of the first like acting jobs she had was in Manchuria. And it kind of started out that way, and then she just kept making movies, hoping one day that he would see them, that he would see a movie and he'd go find her or something, and they'd find each other. But yeah, I mean, Max saw it too. What did you think about it, Max?
I honestly, I really enjoyed it. I'm not even gonna lie. I really love that movie. Just the way that the story goes, and I the only thing in that whole movie that I didn't really care about was how it kind of shifted between movie and real life. I mean, some people may like that, but I didn't too much care for it. I'm not saying it was done badly, but I just did not personally like it. So, I mean, take it or leave it. But, you know, looking at the movie itself, I really liked how it kind of told her life story in the way that it did. And sometimes it's not actually love, it's the idea of being in love. And I think I think that's what I think that's what Millennium Actress shows very well, and it's really interesting to see how that chase has influenced her in pretty much everything that she's done in her life.
Yeah, if you don't like that part, maybe you won't like other Kon films.
Well, and it stands to reason because the box office for Boy and the Beast it made like $48 million, and the Millennium Actress made about $37,000.
But
so
what's
Mac
that
is in
today
the majority
money?
of people. Well, even with inflation, the box office for
And it did do a weird release where it like came out but didn't come out.
And
for
that's
another
probably
year.
a big reason for it. And I'm sure it's made a lot of sales afterward, but just based on that, like, people don't gravitate towards these dense, quote unquote, intellectual movies as easily as they do for just, you know, the basic stuff like Boy and the Beast, because you can't take your kids to watch Millennium Actress.
Isn't that most great art though?
I mean, yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, it's hard to find something that fits every category that's both popular and very artistic. So something like
Kimi no Nawa.
Yeah, that, and then like something.
Here we go.
Something like Death Note. Death Note is like the perfect storm
No, it's
of
not.
everything.
It's so
It's not a
terrible.
perfect show. It's not a perfect show, but it had these really cool concepts, and same with Full Metal Alchemist. Those shows are both extremely popular, and you know they managed to be financially successful, popular, and also critically acclaimed. But Boy and the Beast is like one of the three. It just made a lot of money, you know, and it was reasonably good, but it's not going to be a critically acclaimed famous movie. You know, it's not going to be a classic. Millennium Actress is a classic that didn't make a lot of money and is not particularly popular, even on Mal.
It's one of those things where it's the thing that I struggle with every day talking about movies with some people is like I'll mention all these like really cool indie films that like, you know, they got a limited release because of whatever reason, you know, because it's not a Marvel movie or a comic movie or it's not a reboot movie or something. You know, it's an original thing and there wasn't a lot of producers on it. And I have to tell people, it's like, you got to see this movie. Have you heard of it? It's like, no, I've never heard of it. And it's like, oh God, like you got to watch it. It's so good. And then they look at it or they watch the trailer and think that I'm some kind of hipster douchebag. And it's like, no, like the trailer makes it seem that way because it played at fucking Sundance, the hipster fucking film festival. But no, it's like really good though. Like you got to watch it. You know what I mean? Like I have to defend that shit every day. But Millennium Actress as a movie though, I'll say, if you're into films at all, you know, like I am, or you just love good, like cool storytelling, it's just a good movie regardless of anime or not. You know what I mean? I think it's just a really good film.
And one thing we should mention is the Every Frame of Painting on YouTube made a good video about a bunch of Satoshi Kon works that describes, you know, or he mentions what Kon does well and like differences between a couple of his movies. Like Paprika is like the difference between the, you know, dream world and reality, and then Perfect Blue is a different one, and Millennium Actress is a different one. And you know, it's a really good video, so check it out.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'd already seen Perfect Blue before I watched that, but then watching that, I was just like, I need to see everything Kon has ever made, and I'm on course. Still have a few things to see.
And that's part of the fun, actually, of like these higher
Great
concept
directors.
Yeah, like the higher concept movies and shows. Half of the fun for me is learning about them and reading and watching reviews, because it makes me appreciate it even more. Because watching it by myself, like I get my interpretation, but then, you know, on our Angel's Egg episode, I could only glean so much from watching it myself. I had to like read analysis to understand what I was watching.
Yeah, but that's also because it's terrible. But one thing
Angel's
with
Egg
just
is really good.
that every frame of
weird.
painting thing for Satoshi Kon is it really one thing that's great is it doesn't like hit just his reviews of it. It's just about like the nature of editing in these movies and not about particularly the themes and stuff involved. It's just about how it's specifically
briefly
presented
mentions
in the art. And it will kind of, even if you haven't seen Satoshi Kon's works, it will kind of change the way that you see anime in many ways and film in general. Because you'll start, well, really just watch everything every frame of painting has ever made. But you'll start to pick out all these things that like really make great films amazing. And things that may not have noticed entirely before. So it'll take you to that point where mediocre stuff is way worse than you ever thought it could be, and the great stuff is way more amazing than you ever thought it could be.
Until you come full circle and go insane, and then the bad stuff becomes good.
Yeah,
and you watch it ironically.
You're Nick calling Pupa good.
I never said Pupa. Pupa is really
But anyway,
bad.
like we did with Hosoda, let's rank Millennium Actress amongst the other Satoshi Kon films.
I don't think all of us have seen.
I haven't seen all of them yet. Like I'm watching them slowly. I'm trying to pace myself.
Well, amongst the ones that we've seen, I've seen Paprika and Perfect Blue. I've also read Paprika.
I'm not going to lie to you. I probably put Millennium Actress. I've seen Paprika and Perfect Blue too, and I think I put them above those two. For sure.
So you rate it as number one.
I don't know. Call me a douchebag. I don't know.
I think I would put...
you can't go wrong. There's like no wrong answer.
Right.
Unless you say Tokyo Godfathers, then you're wrong. Just kidding.
Also, for other people that aren't fully aware, Paprika is also the inspiration for Inception, and Perfect Blue is the inspiration for Requiem of a Dream and Black Swan.
Yeah,
and it really is.
Like some of the stuff is shot for shot, basically.
And Chronicle is an inspiration of Akira. Totally off topic. Go ahead.
Yeah.
And Gunbuster is an inspiration for Interstellar.
Or Akira's inspiration for Chronicle.
Oh my gosh. So I think I would put Perfect Blue probably on top, just because I think that is just way more of a wild ride psycho thriller.
It's tough, yeah.
And Paprika I could see being a bit below because Paprika has some... Man, it really is just difficult. There's so many reasons to love all of these.
Paprika is the most trippy one, isn't it? That's like... I haven't seen that one yet, but I have it on my shelf.
Perfect Blue is much trippier than Paprika.
Perfect Blue's probably... Yeah, Perfect Blue is probably a little more trippy. Definitely more trippy.
Yeah, Perfect Blue's crazy.
Because Paprika, you at least have a pretty decent idea of what is going on, even if you don't know necessarily what you're looking at. While Perfect Blue, you actually just don't know what's going on.
Like, that girl is going crazy.
Well,
like, she's
Perfect Blue is
literally losing her mind.
It's a legitimate, like, horror, almost.
It's
scary.
Definitely. And I'm going to go as far as to say is that Satoshi Kon is like the Japanese Lars von Trier, except not as pretentious. Like the way, because he can make
smoke my pipe.
He can make all kinds of films, and you know that it's, even though they're completely different genres here and there, you know that it's him, that it's his movie. You know what I mean? Like it's cool.
There's nothing quite like a Satoshi Kon film.
No.
Yeah, there really isn't that much out there that's
even the things that try to imitate it.
Also, Paranoia Agent's legit.
I really got to watch that. Like that show,
I really like it.
Maybe we should do a like Christmas holiday season Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh, we definitely should actually, because that's a Christmas movie.
Tokyo Godfather.
Right next to the Toradora rewatch.
And then we can talk about Die Hard too. Die Hard is the best Christmas movie ever made, bar none.
Lethal Weapon 1 is the best Christmas movie ever.
I'm not kidding, actually. I legitimately think Die Hard's the best Christmas movie.
Lethal Weapon's the best Christmas movie.
Anyway, let's wrap this up quickly with everybody's thoughts on these two movies in terms of final little like, hey, like I will say, if you have not seen any Satoshi Kon films, watch any of them.
Or Paranoia Agent.
One of them.
Or Paranoia Agent.
Or both.
Yeah.
Watch all of them. But
and I'm going to go ahead
and with Hosoda, you could do better than Bakemono no Ko, but it's not bad if you're really into fantasy stuff.
I'm going to go ahead and say, like, if you're going to start watching Mamoru Hosoda films, because you haven't seen any of them, watch Bakemono no Ko first, and then watch the other ones, because then you're going to be like...
You ramp up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I learned that from Nick.
You could just go backwards. You could watch, reverse chronological.
Reverse crons. Just do reverse crons, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You're good.
That sounds like a disease. Jesus.
It does, yeah. He's got reverse crons.
Never mind.
He can't poop out the butt.
All right. Well, I'll just say one more thing about Millennium Actress and take my hand off my dick afterward. It's so right now it's ranked, or its popularity is like barely in the top 1,000 on Mal, and that's a shame. I think this movie deserves to be in the top 10 probably. I think it's one of the best anime movies ever made. I still have a lot of them to watch, so I can't definitively state.
Probably at least
it's
in the top
best.
10 for movies.
Oh, it's top 5 for movies for sure. Like pretty much all of Kon's like Perfect Blue and Millennium Actress are both top 5 in anime movies. Period. I'm not even taking an argument there. But like with Kon's movies, I keep calling him Kon and Kon. I keep switching. I just realized that.
Also,
Con man.
Another thing, since we didn't mention this, Satoshi Kon's films are also like Madhouse's best things that they've ever made.
Oh yeah, Madhouse did a great job on these. Well, I mean, the animation does look a little bit dated, but this was like during that time
they're
of like
old, but
the
they're
digital transition.
just-
So
Oh man,
I mean, it's still very smooth and it looks good. It's kind of like an old Ghibli movie.
I'm getting at half chub just
No,
thinking
it's
about
not.
it.
I'm just,
Madhouse. In the middle of the street.
well, yeah, and Madhouse was a great studio for him because they're known for letting the staff and directors kind of go wild with their
Just like do it up.
material. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes their hands are tied a little bit, so Madhouse just let him do it. And Satoshi Kon was, he was a visionary. And here's the thing, like anime and TV and movies, it's an audio-visual medium. And if you want one of the best experiences in that medium, you need to watch Satoshi Kon. He brings it all. Like the directing is amazing. Like it's mind-boggling, and the images like stick in your brain. Just the feel and the themes of the movie stick to you because of how it's directed. Whereas something like Bakemono no Ko, not to shit on it, it's fine, but it's not particularly memorable. Like I don't remember any images from that movie, but with Millennium Actress, I have this
remember
tapestry
the weird
in my brain of what
whale
I've seen.
and the one old lord that becomes a rock.
Yeah, and even with time, that's gonna fade. But Millennium Actress, like the scene where she's in the spaceship, like flying or like, riding on horseback and stuff, that's just like seared into my brain. Like that's
Or as a ninja, or
it's crazy.
as the maiden with the weird blue things in her forehead. Anyway, Mac,
Yeah,
what
the
you got
Cabaneri
for
girl.
us?
I mean, I give Millennium Actress a 10. Like, I mean, I think my official score is like 9.6.
Shut the fuck up, Mac. What do you got for us?
I'm feeling
But,
a
yeah,
9
it's
probably.
great. Watch it.
Yeah, 9. Yeah, 9.
You got nothing more than just a number?
I suppose the big reason why it's a 9 is because of what I mentioned before, which is how the whole, like, the past tied too closely into the movie and you couldn't really tell what was the past and what was the movie, at least not on the first watch. You could probably accomplish that with multiple watchings, but it didn't click for me.
So it was like
Yeah.
that was like a personal thing for you.
It's okay, Mac. One day you'll understand.
I mean, I'm still waiting for everybody to understand
Mac
PBK
is
Euphonium
with the
Season
majority.
2, but,
Herberger.
So anyway, that wraps up. If you've seen these films, tweet at us or comment on the YouTubes about it. Additionally, stay tuned because we have another shirt on the way. We have the design mostly done. I just need to put it up on Amazon, order a sample, and then we'll push it out there if it's good or adjust it how we need to. So stay tuned for that on our Twitters.
And subscribe to Anime Summit Extra.
Oh, and shout out to Bryce for getting a sweet picture wearing our podcast logo shirt with Jessica Negri at Comic-Con. So that's awesome.
No way. I did not see that. I'm going to Twitter right now.
Nice.
I'm going to retweet right now. Retweet.
So next week we're doing, as we said, first impressions for the fall season. We're watching stupid shit tons of shows.
At least I am.
We've talked a little bit about it. I think our first impressions are going to be pretty fun next week. So On that bombshell, I've been Quokka. With me has been Mac, Nick, and Sam. And this has been the Anime Summit Podcast.